Well, everybody, this is the reason I decided to start a YouTube channel. This is my 1989 Mercury Grand Marquis Colony Park station wagon that I've named Deadpool, or not Deadpool, but I named Carpool because of Deadpool. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it and the story behind why I have it this afternoon as we're walking around looking at it. So I've had it for about 3 years, and I saved it from the scrapyard. It was actually going to get crushed, and I traded a motorcycle that I'd gotten for doing some work at that same wrecking yard for this, not knowing anything about it other than it had good lines. Not a dent. Well, there's one dent in it. There's not any rust in it. Everything just looked good about it. It's just nice, good, clean car. And then I brought it home, and somebody had decided to tear the top end of it apart. Had a 302 in it. It was missing several parts. A lot of parts were just pulled off and laid in the back of the car. And I decided that I didn't want to mess with putting that motor back together because it only made 140 horsepower from the factory. So then I started thinking about options that I could explore with other engines and things like that. And I knew where a cop car was that had a 4.6 liter V8 in it. And I was wondering if the frame out of that cop car would actually fit into my station wagon. So I started doing some research on the internet, and lo and behold, the 4.6 and the 2003 up chassis from Crown Vic and Mercury Grand Marquis will actually fit in this car. I decided to take it one step further though. Some of you may have already seen it up there on the engine stand. We'll walk back up there and look at it. That is a Chevy LS engine. This engine's not going in the car. This engine's probably never going to go in any car. This was the first LS engine that I'd ever bought, and I made some mistakes along the way with it, and I don't think it's any good anymore. So, fast forward to the second LS engine that I ever bought, which happens to be in the engine bay of this car already. This engine was originally going in 1991 Chevrolet S10 Blazer, and I tried to learn from the mistakes I made from that LS engine, and I did things to make sure that water didn't get inside of it, made sure things just stayed the way they were supposed to, but yet somehow I ended up with a motor that seized up, even though this motor ran when I pulled it out of the Tahoe that it came from. And that big gaping hole back there at the back where you can see the plywood at, that's where a transmission is supposed to be. Because I did have to liberate the transmission from this car to get another project moving. And we'll talk about that later. So, plans coming up for May. I'm actually putting a week's worth of time and effort into this car to get, back up a bit here, we're going to take the front of this car off, what you see right now. And there's dogs over barking. We're going to get the frame ready from the 03 Grand Marquis, put the motor and transmission out of the 05 Yukon on there, and get it ready to go into this. Just a few other, show you kind of the inside of it now. have been kind of storing some tools and parts in it along the way as I've been working on it. There is the nice clean dash. Got the fake wood grain in it. It's got a couple of cracks in it up there at the top, but we'll figure out how to fix that at some point. It's got the 80s vinyl slash vinyl or faux leather that we'll figure out how to get cleaned up and save, because I do want to try to keep the 80s vibe going with it. And there's the nice roof rack that I was told should stay on the car to just keep the wagon vibe going. Even though the car itself does not have any wood grain, somebody actually special ordered it without the wood grain on it. Would have cost them $80 to add it in 1989. Will cost me about $2,000 to add it in 2021. We do have some issues going on with the back seat here. I don't know if it's something I did or if it was something that was like that when I got it. I don't really remember. It's actually been 3 years this week since I took possession of the car. Just got some more parts and things that we've got stored in here right now, because we do actually we do work all in the backyard, front yard, no shop to work out of. This tailgate is actually a dual function tailgate. When it's got power to it, window roll down, you can open it like a truck tailgate, or you can open it like a door. That jumble of mess is my first attempt at trying to make an LS swap wiring harness. Got a B&M floor shifter there. Got a fan shroud. I think actually came out of this car. There is the wiper box for this car, the wiper fluid reservoir, and it's got some more tools there, so we'll get all that cleaned out. And at some point, we can actually show you the back seat, because this car, the way back seat actually sits to where you look out the side windows instead of the back window. The 1989 Mercury Grand Marquis Colony Park wagon, which is the reason I decided to start this channel.